Hey, what's up, guys? Dre 5Ds here, coming at you again with another Black Lightning review/discussion. Tonight's going to be Season 1, Episode 9. Alright, so tonight we're going to start talking about Jennifer, which was one of the main focuses of the storyline tonight. She finally found out that her father's Black Lightning and her sister has powers as well. And, the whole episode, most of the episode is mostly dealing with her reaction to that and like dealing with her, all this knowledge coming at her at once. And just thinking about it and watching it, I think it's a pretty, solid and fair reaction from Jennifer after finding all of this out. I guess one thing I kind of expected was her to maybe be happy and be thrilled about it, sort of like Anissa was. But on second thought, like Jennifer is definitely a different character than Anissa, and she's a young teenager with a young teenage girl with different with a lot of emotion with just what teenagers go through and everything. And I can definitely see where she's coming from with having the fear of having the powers and being called a freak and everything. And just that whole scene with her and her mom in the kitchen, she was worrying about her future, having a family and everything, and asking will she ever be with someone. I thought that was really real and something that we haven't really seen in like a superhero show like that, at least not that I can think of, especially in the DC TV universe so far. A lot of the people, or I guess I should say sidekicks who get powers, they're all for it and into it, like, Wally was, Wally, Roy Harper, Oliver's sister, Thea, Speedy. Supergirl hasn't doesn't have a sidekick at the moment yet, but you can kind of know and understand what I'm talking about. A lot of the even Anissa, was pretty much excited to go out in the field and have powers and everything. And I thought it was a really nice, different take and pretty real reaction from a girl of her age, thinking about that. And just from what she's noticed from her parents, obviously they're divorced and everything. And she can, obviously put two to two together that her mom broke up with her father because of the powers, and her being worried about having a future, being able to have kids, is very justifiable because as I don't know if you guys watched any of the other DC TV shows or any other comic shows in general, the main protagonist, the superhero, usually doesn't always end up with with a love interest. Of course, they have love interests, but a lot of the times, some of the heroes don't always end up getting the girl or the man. Just it's just how that life goes, especially on Arrow. If you guys watch that, you can definitely know that the main protagonist Oliver has dealt with having a love interest, although he has one now. But always in the past seasons and a lot of other comic shows, being a superhero is a pretty lonely gig, and having powers like that, some people might not understand, and some people might not, embrace it, or like some people do. They might be opposed to it just because they're scared of, being with someone like that. And I thought it was like a really, pretty real reaction that she had for her, and I really felt for her, for Jennifer in that situation that she was going through. But obviously she's probably going to, I wouldn't say get over it, but I would say she's probably going to most likely, come around and actually embrace her powers and end up, being a hero like she is in the comics and the cartoon series that has been made for Black Lightning. So I wouldn't worry about her, not becoming a hero. It's just a matter of time and how fast they're gonna track how fast they're gonna make her become a hero. Another thing I want to bring up is I think we pretty much got a soft confirmation that Black Lightning could possibly be in the same universe as Arrow, because when Jennifer's mom came to her in the bedroom and wanted to talk to her, Jennifer made like a joke at saying, is she gonna reveal to her that she's Vixen, which obviously Vixen is a character who originally appeared on Arrow at first, but now it's not the original Vixen character that's on Legends of Tomorrow at the moment, but is another version of the character Vixen that's on Legends of Tomorrow. And obviously, Legends of Tomorrow is in the same universe as Arrow and Flash and everything. And the fact that the mother mentioned and the daughter, both Jennifer and the mother, mentioned Vixen, and not only Vixen but Supergirl, I thought I'm thinking like, hey, that can be like a really, real confirmation that this, Black Lightning is in the same universe as everybody else. From what I've been reading online and even my own thoughts, I do think that if not the whole entire universe that Black Lightning is in, with the same with Flash and Arrow and everything, I think that he probably is on the same Earth as Supergirl. If you guys don't know or don't watch the other shows, Supergirl is on a different Earth. I think she's on Earth 38 or Earth 3. I can't remember the exact number, but she's definitely on another Earth from Flash and Arrow. Definitely, I always thought that Black Lightning was in the same Earth as Supergirl, but it seems like that Black Lightning could also be in the same universe as Arrow and Flash, because it wouldn't be out of the realm that someone from Earth One, where Flash and Arrow is, would know about Supergirl just because of the crossovers that has happened in the past 2 or 3 years, that she's come over to that Earth, and she's been seen around and everything. So I wouldn't that could be an explanation of why they would know about Supergirl if they're not on the same Earth as her. The same could be also said about Vixen. Like I mentioned before, there's different Earths, and on each Earth there's a different version for each character that's from another Earth. Like for example, on Earth One, where Flash and Arrow is, there's a different Jefferson where he may or may not even have powers like Jefferson, which most likely he wouldn't have powers as Jefferson, but there's definitely multiple Jeffersons on different Earths, and that can just be the case with Vixen. There can always be another Vixen on this Earth that they share with Supergirl, but I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm giving you guys confusion, but I just thought that I got really excited because that's definitely a confirmation that they are at least in the same Earth as either Supergirl or Arrow, just from those name drops of Vixen and Supergirl. One thing I also want to talk about is the lab with all the people or the young people that were like submerged in water. When I first saw that, was thinking like, are they still alive or not? Because Gamby mentioned that he saw one of the kids that he put away 30 years ago, but it seems like from next week's episode that those people are actually still alive. They're not actually dead or anything. So, which got me thinking, will one of those people be one of the outsiders that could possibly come into play in season two? And I think that's a strong possibility. If you guys don't know what the Outsiders are, the Outsiders is a team of superheroes that Black Lightning was a part of. I know Batman was a part of it, and there was like um, some other off brand characters that aren't that well known that was also part of the team. There was like a sort of a hint. And the last time we saw Grace, when we first saw Grace, she had an Outsiders comic book, I believe. Either she had an Outsiders comic book or they mentioned the Outsiders or something like that. But I do believe that the Outsiders are probably going to come from that lab, and if we don't get them any other way, I think that would be a pretty solid, somewhat organic way for them to, come about and form the team of the Outsiders. Just because all those kids that are in that tube, we can probably safe to assume that they do have powers, since that was Gamby's whole job back 30 years ago, and he saw one of the kids that was there. So I think the Outsider would definitely come from that. So tonight we also got to see Anissa in her costume, which I think she looks amazing in. We got the picture of her in costume, like an official picture release from the show or from the CW, like long before the show even premiered, and I was definitely waiting to see when we would see it in action, and we got to see it tonight. I think it looks really good. I still think maybe Black Lightning's is just a little bit better. I know when the show first came on, I wasn't really that huge of a fan of Black Lightning's suit just because of that bright, thunderbolt lightning on there, but I kind of started to have it grow on it. I think I would maybe put Anissas costume slightly above it if it was maybe just a little bit brighter. I think it would look a little bit better if it was just maybe a little bit brighter, but it was still, fun and cool to see it in action and have her finally in costume that we got to see a few months ago. One last thing, guys, I want to just say that I'm glad Henderson survived. From what we seen in the episode, it seemed like Henderson's days were being counted, just because he mentioned, if anything happened to him, tell his family that, he was a good cop and he was like going rogue on his own. to figure out the dirty cop within his precinct, and when he made it to the facility and trying to follow the dirty cop that he knew and he worked with. And I was just thinking the whole time that, man, Henderson is gonna die, which I definitely wouldn't want that to happen, because I like the character. I think he's a good character for the show. He's basically Jim Gordon for Jefferson, and I think all superhero shows need some type of connection to the police to help them out whenever they are in trouble, and Henderson fills that role for Jefferson and Black Lightning. So I'm glad to see that he's still alive. Hopefully he'll stay and continue to be alive. Hopefully this isn't foreshadowing by the end of the season that he won't survive, but good to see him still alive and kicking for the time being. So I just want to say thank you guys for watching my video. If you like what you see, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below of your thoughts on tonight's episode as well. And until then, I will see you guys next week for my next review and discussion on Black Lightning Season 1. Until then, see you later.